Hi, good morning. What's good, Spirit Squad? How is everybody doing today? So today we're going to be focusing a little bit on the two collected company decks of the format. Of course, Bant Spirits being one of our fields, and I've been really interested in looking at elves. So we did an interview with Xbox Greg a few weeks ago, and he's primarily an elf main, which was the entire point of that video. We were talking about people who one-trick their decks. And Elves is a deck that's interested me for some time. I've even played it in Legacy competitively, so it's just a pretty good time all around in every format, including Pioneer. The cool thing about this is that it just got Tyvar Jubilant Brawler, a brand new Planeswalker from Phyrexia All Will Be One, and its static ability is already good enough to play this. You can activate abilities of creatures you control as if they had haste. And the big ability that you want to be activating here is going to be Circle of Dreams Druid, which is literally Gaia's Cradle, but in creature form. So this is going to be something that's really exciting. Adding a green for every creature we control is super nice. We would also be playing Elvish Archdruid on top of that, but that card is not Pioneer legal, so sad face there. The other cool thing that Tyvar does for this deck is that you can +1 to untap up to one creature. So you can tap Circle of Dreams Druid for 1,000,000 mana, use it to untap the Circle of Dreams Druid, and then tap for basically 2x where your creatures are there. Hey, what up, Epic Storm? How you doing? Yeah, so also this is going to happen at some point later this week too, but today I want to play the Coco decks. And then the -2 here is going to be mill 3 cards, and then you can reanimate something with cost 2 or less, and that's going to be any of this pile all the way over here. Literally everything here is a available target, which means Leaf Crown Visionary can start you redrawing cards. Life can be really awesome there. So we've got 4 Cocos, nothing surprising there, a couple of copies of Chord of Calling, and I'm really looking forward to having some explosive draws out of this deck. Our sideboard, honestly, I'm just going to play a really generic sideboard because we're only in the first couple of days of this format. So building a sideboard with a bunch of 1-ofs and 2-ofs in a format where you just don't know what you're going to be fighting is not really where I want to be in life. So we're going to be playing 4 Thoughtseizes, 3 copies of Leyline and a Void, and these are going to be primarily for things like Greasefang and Arclight Phoenix decks, but who knows what could pop up. Hey, what up, Jeff? Yeah. We are having lots of fun playing Magic this week. Live streamed a couple of days ago. We're live streaming today. If I have time to tomorrow, I plan on doing that as well. So hopefully lots and lots of stuff this week/weekend since I actually have time to play Magic. We got 3 copies of Vivien Monsters Advocate, which is going to be good against both control and things like Rakdos Midrange that are trying to grind you out. This card's kind of incredible. 3 copies of Shaper Sanctuary to basically do the same thing, except at 1 mana instead of 5. And then the last 2 slots are going to be Reclamation Sage. So I think Reclamation Sage slash, what is the other card called? Mask the Vandal, have a lot of jobs right now. Like there's a lot of these enigmatic incarnation decks that are running around, and you'll appreciate getting rid of their stuff. But also random burn decks play cards like Eidolon of the Great Revel and Roiling Vortex that are enchantments. There's got to be at least one version of Colossus Hammer running around this set, since we did just get a few cards that help to enable things like equipments. So there's a lot of potential for Reclamation Sage to be really good. And if anything, 2 copies might be too few out of the sideboard. So we'll see if we fight one of those in our 5 matches with Elves later on. And if that is the case that we want more, then we can play more later on. The other deck that we're going to be playing is Bant Spirits, which should probably not be a surprise to really anybody here. This was one of those ones that we were just bound to test out at some point here. The real kicker that Bant Spirits got is going to be Seachrome Coast. So Seachrome Coast helps make the mana relatively smooth and painless, and you're going to just be more likely to be able to cast your cards like Skyclave Apparition on turn 3 without having to really fuck up your mana to get there. So the idea is that we got Botanical Sanctum as a 2x and Seachrome Coast as a 3x, so that we can have nice and smooth mana, able to play this entire stack of stuff reliably on turn 2. So hopefully we're not going to see too many of these like double Branch Loft Pathway hands that make, 21 of these 23 cards unplayable on turn 2. That is a problem that Spirits has had in the past. And to the rest of that effect, everything else is pretty normal though. We've got 4 Hallowed Fountains, we've got a couple of copies of Breeding Pool, don't really want more than 2. We've got 10 ways to produce green, and including the Botanical Sanctum, lots of ways to produce green on turn 1 without actually messing up your other mana. So that's what I'm hoping to see in this list. We're hoping to see the combination of Botanical Sanctum and now Seachrome Coast lead to some really smooth mana, which is where Bant really had some faults previously. So we're going to go back to the elf deck, and we're just going to queue this up in a league. I'm really looking forward to seeing just how good this deck can be. So let's swap over to elves. And I'm hoping that this is going to end up being really sweet, because I really like the idea of this new Planeswalker. I want to tap for 1,000,000 points of mana, and I'm really just hoping people just end up dying to it, right? The other cool thing too is that there is a Pioneer Super Qualifier this weekend. There's also one in another format that I don't remember off the top of my head. Let's find out real quick. The other one is Modern. So Modern is Saturday, Pioneer is Sunday. And this being, I guess, a new season, don't really have the 40 qualifying points up yet. So hopefully we can get some wins and string together some mixture of prelim matches plus leagues to get more points for these types of events too. And look at that, we get to be on the play for our very first round, and our hand is a relatively sketchy one-lander. I don't particularly want this hand. This is also not great. So let's pitch one of these 2 Llanowar Wastes. I don't think I want to go to 5. There we go. So yeah, this does make me sad currently, but what can you do? So any 1-drop that would have made mana would have been really good there, but are we being Thoughtseized now? We are being Thoughtseized. So we could be playing against mono black. We could just be playing against Rakdos that opened up with a basic swamp instead of a dual land. This is another deck that I just played the other day, was Rakdos midrange, except we played it on Explorer. And the big thing for Rakdos midrange is that it got access to Blackleaf Cliffs, so its mana is even smoother than it was before, and it was pretty damn smooth before. So let's see. They took the Shaman of the Pack. Okay. So that actually makes some sense, because my assumption here is that they just probably assume that they're going to end up not really having to worry too much about what happens with these Dwynen's elites, as long as they can control what's happening on the board. And if they are Rakdos and just have like Bonecrusher Giant Stomp, then they're not going to be too worried about that. But it looks like that's not what's happening here. So, oh, that's nice. So here I just get to cast a Coco. And it's a fairly obvious Coco draw, but what else would I... Oh, it's Greasefang. Okay. So Greasefang could get pretty annoying if they, like, you know, roll the nuts, because I currently can't do anything about that. Okay, so they... What is Marit? Copy a permanent, legendaries... What? So there's the Greasefang, but what is this? Okay. They're about to hit me with some new technology that I haven't seen before, because I have no idea what Marie of the Frost even does in this deck. Like, it's just a clone that's not legendary, so I suppose they could come up with a second copy of Greasefang if they really wanted to. So I assume this is going to be the Rafine's Informant, and it is. Okay. So I assume they're just going to have a copy of Parhelion to pitch here, and if not, like in a Seek's Chariot or a Sky Sovereign doesn't exactly suck. So let's see what it is they pitch after they draw. They do in fact have a Chariot. Okay, so that's not that threatening, all things considered. So we're going to play the pretty obvious Coco here, and we want... Wow, okay. Leaf Crown Visionary plus Circle of Dreams Druid. So the Leaf Crown Visionary, in theory, is going to end up drawing us a lot of cards next turn. And I'm going to hopefully not get... Okay, good. So let's start off with the Dwynen's Elite. And I want to start off with the Dwynen's Elite, both so that I can go ahead and draw my card, but also each one of those gives me +2 mana for this. So I'm going to do this. Yes, I would like to draw a card. So now this makes 2 more elves. And it's a land. Doesn't Marit combo with some saga? It could. I legitimately just have no idea. So I will automatically assume that whatever input you have about that is gonna be way more correct than anything I have the ability to surmise currently. Okay, so it's another forest, but now we get to go ahead and make 6 mana. And let's go ahead and draw another card. We have 3 mana left. A Coco, unfortunately, is not castable with just this. So I do have to pass the turn here. Yeah, we're short by 1. And this is a tap ability. I don't get just do like the Birchlaw Ranger thing. So that was clearly a really sick turn, right? Like untapping with Leaf Crown Visionary was nice. And our job here is really just to hope we don't die. So this looks like a Grease Fang. It is. And an Esika's Chariot against this board is nowhere near good enough, which is nice for me. Okay, so I could block this, but realistically, I don't think I want to put it in the graveyard. I'd rather put it in their hand. So I'll just take the 4 and then untap with a lot of power and toughness here. Okay, do we shock? We do not shock. Okay, so they have the mana to cast the Esika's Chariot this turn, but keep it real, I just don't really care about that. So first, I'm going to cast the Jaspera Sentinel and give myself a card draw. And Elvish War Master is kind of excellent. So let's do this here. Herald Unites the Elves is a saga with that mills an infinite combo with Marit, but it's a 4 CMC saga, so it's pretty slow. Okay. That is a card that I have heard of, but I don't think I've ever actually like seen in play anywhere. So how much does this make? Like 12? 10? Good enough. So I'm gonna War Master first so that I have access to even more mana here. So now I get more elves in play. And I'm going to use the mana I have here and just Coco, see if I can hit something super nice. A War Master and a Circle of Dreams Druid. Okay, that's not nothing. So let's put these back in any order. More elves. And I am short on mana to use this, right? It's cost 7? Yeah. So we're just going to attack with a bunch here. Not you. Yes, this is what I want to attack with. So now my poor opponent's stuck dealing with a whole lot of this. And I suppose I could have, instead of casting a Coco, just activated the War Master with the exactly 7 mana that we had. But like, even if they have a Parhelion here, I'm not exactly scared of losing. So looks like turn 1, our game 1 is going to go to us, and we're pretty happy about that so far. So I don't know. Woo! And while they are flailing their arms, I'm actually going to look up. Oh, hey, thanks. That's what I was going to look up. So mill 3 cards. You can put an elf or Tyvar from a graveyard onto the battlefield. So this combos with this. And now you get a... Doesn't this still only get them 1 Parhelion? Like, this is really cool, but I'm struggling to see how they can get a win out of this. They can do me 13, but that's not 16. Actually, I have a Jaspera Sentinel, so they can't even do that. They can do me 8. Oh, the last one can get... Oh, I see what's happening. So the last one of the Morit can get a second Grease Fang, and a second Grease Fang can get a Parhelion plus, I guess, in a Seekers Chariot. You can't get two Parhelions because they're legendary, so that just like doesn't work. But you can get one Parhelion, I guess, in a Sky Sovereign to kill the Jespera Sentinel, but even that's still not lethal. So maybe I'm just missing the end goal. Either way, I'm going to let them go ahead and do their clicks. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, do they have a Thassa's Oracle? Is that a thing? An L4 or Tyvar? No, that doesn't do anything. They can't Thassa's Oracle out of this. Okay. So we're still milling down to 0? Okay. So there's a Tyvar. Thoughtseize. Oh, they did have a Thassa's Oracle. Ah. Okay. So now they get to use Tyvar's ability to revive the Thassa's Oracle. Okay, okay, I see it now. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I guess I should have gone ahead and done the thing. So, shit, that was cool. All right. So here I want the ley lines, and I don't think I want anything other than like these. And cards that I don't particularly care about against them. I think I just do this, play a little bit of a slower game, but be mostly okay with the slower game as long as I have access to like my Cocos and things. I still have 29 creatures in my deck for Coco purposes. Okay. Let's try this. Oh my, let's not try this. Oh, come on, deck. Killing me. I mean, this is also terrible. I guess I have to try keeping this. Jesus, this is terrible. Man, what an oof. Yeah, all right, this is what we're doing today. Okay, so they're doing nothing here, which means that I'm, unfortunately for me, stuck looking at a Grizzly Salvage, and I have to basically hope the Grizzly Salvage doesn't just automatically body me on the spot. That sounds like a lot to ask. Oh, just a Fatal Push, okay. You know, I'm actually a little happier about that than I would have been if it was just like a Grizzly Salvage. Because like likelihood of me doing anything about a Grizzly Salvage was so incredibly low. Yeah, you got it. Llanowar Elf, okay. That's not stone nothing. Nowhere near playable, but it's not just nothing. Okay, so I'm definitely not doing anything about just like a 4/3 attacking me. That sucks. So I go down to 13, and I guess I'm just hoping to draw like a land or two in a row here. But let's see what actually happens. Fatal Push my Llanowar Elves, that makes sense. Shaman. Man, we are very much not playing this game. Okay, so there's a Tyvar. So they could mill 3 now and then try to spin into a thing, but they get Zeta Wayfinder. That means they're digging even deeper. Uh-oh. And they find a Parhelion, which means I'm going to go ahead and pack it up. Let's just move on to round 2. So, not gonna lie, that game 1 was pretty sick from them, though. Like, if I had simply used my Elvish War Master, then we might have actually gotten our way to a game 3. But I did think I was safe. I, you know, whatever, ran into a new combo version, got comboed out. That was kind of sweet. But man, that second game was an absolute disaster. I don't know. Maybe I was supposed to go to 4 on that hand because, like, that hand didn't actually, like, do anything. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was supposed to go to 4 there. So what do we got here? We've got Triple War Master, Circle of Dreams Druid, and 3 lands. I think I got him all this. Like, it's just... There's a lot of hands that just don't actually do anything on their own. So I think I'm going to put back one of the Blooming Marshes here, and I can just go, like, Elf into Leaf Crown... I'm sorry, Elf into Elf plus Twinen's Elite or something. Like, there's a lot of options here as long as I get to untap with an Elf. Drowned Catacomb means I'm probably not untapping with too many of these elves, so let's make them have a bunch of removal. Okay, Fatal Push, Goodnight Sweet Prince. And we are playing against probably Esper Control? Like, I'm pretty sure that's just like the most likely thing, right? Because nobody else plays Drowned Catacomb on purpose. So here, I think I want to just play Leaf Crown Visionary and play the wonderful game of Mother May I. So if this thing gets to untap, then I can, like, Dwynen's Elite plus draw a card and then try to kind of get my way back into participating from there. And I'm just allowed to do that? Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and try to draw the card, so... I'd rather have a guaranteed card draw than, like, maybe get a Llanowar Elf off. Okay. Oh, wow. All of these things are just happening. So I'm not going to walk into a Shark Typhoon cycle here. I'll just wait a turn. So let's see if that is, in fact, what they choose to do here. No, they just do nothing. Are they holding out for a bigger shark, maybe? Or is this could just be like a Supreme Verdict? It is, in fact, a Supreme Verdict. Okay. So I'm glad we drew the card with Leaf Crown Visionary then. Let's have a Tyvar off the top. Oh, that works too. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, Leaf Crown Visionary, and I'm going to just Elvish Mystic afterwards and draw the card. And a Coco being the draw is pretty sick, not going to lie. Okay, so we're holding up various counterspell manas. 2 Shaman at a pack is potentially nice for later. So here I'm going to attack, tempt them into using a Shark Typhoon, and in response to the cycle, I can resolve this Coco. I kind of like that. Wandering Emperor. I mean, that's pretty good for them too. Hey, what up, Ted? How you doing this morning? Or afternoon, depending on where you are. So let's go ahead and resolve our friend Coco and see what I can spin into. Come on. That's about as close as a whiff gets without actually being a whiff. Jesus, that's rough. All right. That's a fairy. Okay, so now Teferi can go ahead and just draw a card, do the thing, and they cash out for a soldier. Or is it a soldier? Samurai. I always call these things soldiers. Oof. Yeah. Just yeah. I don't have anything nice to say about what's happening this round. Okay, so with Tyvar, it's actually kind of nice, right? Like I can resolve Tyvar, hopefully. If I do, then I get to go ahead and why would I tap like that? Let's tap like this instead. So if this resolves, I'll be pretty glad to put the Leaf Crown Visionary in play, but Adovan's Veto is going to stop that from happening. So I guess I will, I don't know, cry about that. And let's resolve one of these to get off 4 damage. And not going to get to attack here, which really stinks. But between the combination of this Lair of the Hydra that's in play and the other Shaman of the pack, we actually have an out here. Playing with the new Walker, yeah, that's actually the entire point of why I wanted to play Elves, because I thought Tyvar was going to be a really sick addition to this deck. And so far, it's looking pretty cool. This matchup sucks, but Tyvar itself is looking pretty cool. And last round, we got ultra comboed by Greasefang, but to be fair, a lot of that was simply because I didn't activate a War Master I had the ability to activate. Instead, I tried to cast a Coco and died as a result of that. So that one's actually just completely on me. But we had lots of cool ways to play Magic, and okay, so here I can activate Lair of the Hydra, and what, make X's 3? So let's yeah. I might as well just do 5, because this at least threatens the fairy. If they have a removal, I already can't do anything about that. So let's threaten their life total instead then. So if they just like block here and have a Fatal Push for here or something, then, you know, sucks to be me. Yeah. But I don't really know that there's too many universes in which I'm doing anything other than trying to directly kill him. And I do still have 3 more Shamans available, between 1 in my hand and 2 in my deck. So we could sneak in a win here. Running them out of counter spells, though, with a Teferi on the table is going to be really freaking difficult. Tainted Indulgence. Nice. So they discarded Watery Grave, which means absolutely nothing to me. Shadow's Verdict 2. Ugh. So now I can't ever reanimate anything with Tyvar. I feel like I should probably just move the game too, if I'm keeping it real. But let's untap first and at least see what we draw. Yeah, I'm off it. So what do we want to do here? We want the Vivians. I want Shaper Sanctuary. And I don't think I want to put Thoughtseizes in. Like, these are nice for helping me to resolve key spells. But I don't want to dilute my deck too much either. So I think Circle of Dreams Druid is honestly going to be kind of bad. Oh, you know what? If Circle of Dreams Druid is bad, that also means Tyvar is bad. Yeah. So I'll put in 3 of these Thoughtseizes. And we'll simply play like this. So we can play a much slower game. I've got 28 creatures for Coco, so that's still more than reasonable. Okay, I can deal with this. This hand is fine. So getting to guaranteed resolve my Shaper Sanctuary on turn 1 is super nice. And then provided I draw lands to get to Coco/Vivian land, then this hand could be really awesome. But at least for now, it's serviceable with promise. I'll take that. Serviceable with promise is probably all I can ask for in a lot of scenarios. And I don't think a 6-card hand is going to be better than this. Okay, I was going to say, are you going to portable hole my Shaper Sanctuary? Go away, opponent. Okay, so a Boseiju is not bad. And I am just going to start putting creatures on the table, even if I'm not going to get the token, whatever. I still want creatures on the board. So here, let's see what they choose to do, if anything. They did get rid of my Shaper Sanctuary. Okay. A Jaspera Sentinel. So I will cast my cards. I will do this, and let's get an attack in. So here, assuming both my creatures actually live too, I can just start casting Cocos. So that at least is kind of nice. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and let me untap here. Another Dwynen's Elite. So do I cast that in an attempt to hide the Coco, or do we simply wait until their turn, cast the Coco, untap, and cast another Coco? I think I like that more. And if they do this, you know, kill something at the end of my turn, I can still cast in response, which is fine. But like this, if they didn't, then I'm pretty happy with just having a EOT way to make them do things here. And if I draw another land, then I will be very happy to resolve Vivian if they use a counterspell on this Coco here. What are you, Dovin's Veto? Absorb. Okay, you got it. Now let's draw land so we can get Vivian on the table. Damn. Fine. Man, a land would have been so good. I think I'm going to do the same thing, though. So I'm not going to cast anything during my turn. Instead, I'm going to cast a Coco during their turn. I almost want you to try to resolve like a Supreme Verdict here. Dang. All right. So let's cast Coco number 2. And it just goes. Okay. Leafcon Visionary plus Llanowar Elves then. Don't really care about the order for these. Do the untap. A Thoughtseize. If I Thoughtseize, I only have 4 mana. But I can still Dwynen's Elite plus Elvish Mystic to draw cards. I actually like that better, I think. So let's see if I can get like a Sweep Rot or hand that they were trying to hold a sandbag. Yes, I can. Sick. Yes. And we got a Llanowar Waste. Okay. So we get a token, we get a card, and now we get to tap for green and draw another card. So they can Vanishing Verse something if they want to here, but I'm still going to get to draw a card. Another Llanowar Elves is fine-ish. Yes, I will let you use Wandering Emperor on that. So if they want a Wandering Emperor and like do this just to absorb 3 damage, that's fine. I would actually rather them do that than take out the Leafcrown Visionary anyway. Damn it. Fine. They made the right play. So let's see what happens here. Do they... Okay, they just cash in a Wandering Emperor for a token. There's a Drowned Catacombs. They have 2 cards in hand, and we know one of them is Vanishing Verse. So here, I want to simply get some attacks in with the 2/2s, see if they want to use a spell on these. Maybe they do like a Vanishing Verse one and block the other or something similar. Okay, nothing like that. So now what? I can... I can 5 and then 2 mana left for whatever's off the top of my deck. Yeah, all right, let's do that. So let's see if she resolves. Oops. Oh, that's not 3. Dang it. Oh well. I'm just gonna do this then. So now I get to get rid of my Vivien, which does suck. But at least I'm already getting value out of my Vivien. So here I would like, I don't know, a trample counter, I guess. And we know they have 1 unknown card plus a draw step. So let's put things on the board and really cross our fingers for not a sweeper. So not a sweeper would be excellent. Not a sweeper, not a sweeper, not a sweeper. That's not a sweeper. Okay, so I am going to cast this pre-combat because I do plan on clicking attack all. So let's make them take a bunch here. All right, beep beep, all aboard the pain train. What is this, another Wandering Emperor? It is another Wandering Emperor, okay. So they can get rid of the 3/3, gain 2, go up to 10, block 2 more, and take what, 7? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they would go down to 2 if they block something with 2 power. And this takes them what, to 1? Yeah. So now we get to hopefully untap with creatures in play. Please don't sweep. Okay, good. No sweeper. Shoo! Playing around sweepers is scary. Do I want to change anything being on the draw? I think the answer is no. No, we're just going to keep this like it is. Hand has 2 Shaper Sanctuaries, a Dwynen's Elite, and a Vivien for later. I guess this is fine. I would rather focus my opponent's attention on these early anyway, and then establish creatures so that I can do elf things. Yeah, this isn't that bad. So Rafine's Tower, you got it. And here I would love to draw a mana elf so that I can mana elf on turn 2. So like the dream here, right, is that I draw like a Llanowar elf with my second turn, and then I can go Shaper Sanctuary into mana elf. And that is not what happened, but I'm still pretty happy with just playing an elf then. And I would rather establish a little bit of a board presence than worry about the second Shaper Sanctuary. Because, like, the first couple of attacks with the Dwynen's Elite could end up being the difference between dying and living, right? So I would much rather give myself the chance to be able to kill them. But Coco's actually pretty good. So I actually am going to attack first to see if they would rather let me draw 1 card or if they want to deal with Shaper Sanctuary. So let's see if this catches like a Dovin's Veto or something. Okay. So now I've got the lands that I need for both the Coco and the Vivien. So this should ideally be a pretty sweet couple of turns coming up, assuming that, of course, things get to resolve. Graveyard Trespasser, not bad. It's actually kind of funny because this is a pivot that I actually make in my own blue-black control list in Explorer. You just like pivot out to Graveyard Trespasser and you're like, okay, I'm just going to play a relatively sick mid-range game. So here I'm going to try to spin a Lord. I don't get one, but I do get War Master and Shaman, which is fucking sick. Do I get to order things? I do get to order things. All right, any order for that is fine. I do, in fact, want War Master to resolve first so that I get an extra point of damage in. And I cast a spell so that this doesn't flip. All right. So now spot removal absolutely sucks, and if they spend their turn casting a sweeper, I get to untap and Vivian. Extinction Event on even gets rid of everything but, yeah, I was gonna say everything but this, but I'm okay with this being in play. Another Coco too, nice. So let's go ahead and get an attack in. Not blocking? All right, opponent. I respect it, I guess. All right, so now we get to jam Vivian. Leaf Crown Visionary on top is not bad. I will give you a Vigilance counter. Yeah. Okay, so now this is going to go up to a 4, which admittedly is annoying. So here I'm just going to start off with... Is it equal to or less? It is lesser mana value. Okay. I think I'm actually still okay with that. So I'm going to go ahead and cast my Leaf Crown Visionary and go and get a 1-drop out of my deck. And I'll just grab a regular Elvish Mystic for that. Don't want Thoughtseize. I will cast more of these, though. Let's see if my opponent wants to do anything about this one. No? Sick. Attack for 4. And I also love the fact that the Thoughtseize is on top here, so if my opponent wants to, yeah, like a Memory Deluge, okay, I can't do much about that anyway. So they can trade if they want. They will. Which I'm certainly okay with not dealing with that. But knowing that I have the ability to, even with a sweeper here, I can untap into Thoughtseize plus resolving a Goko. That feels pretty good, not gonna lie. So this is probably a Supreme Verdict. Whoa, 6 mana. Is this a Farewell? Don't be a Farewell. Get out of here. Oh man, I think it is a Farewell. Damn it. Does this get rid of Planeswalkers too? Oh, just creatures and enchantments. Okay. So I still have my Vivian at least. That's not that bad. It's annoying, but it could be worse. So here at least I still have my Planeswalker on board. I can cast creatures off the top of my deck, and... Okay, well, not if there are no creatures, but... Yeah, all things considered, this is actually fine. So I want to give you Trample to play around later Sharks, I guess. So I'm going to Coco first in case the top... Come on, what is this? That's not great. But there was a creature on top of the deck. Sick. So now we have a whole new board established. Elvish War Master is actually kind of good since I do have the ability to make 7 mana relatively soon. But they do have 5 cards in hand, so that could get spooky. Vanishing versus my Vivian. Now, as long as they don't also just Supreme Verdict here, that would suck a lot. Okay, and it looks like that's not what's happening, which is nice. So now I can Thoughtseize and get in a pretty sweet attack too. So let's try to do that. Dovin's Veto to Thoughtseize? I think this is where I just say forget the War Master then. I'm just gonna do this for X's too. and just get an attack in for 8. So assuming this attack goes through just fine, they go down to 3, and then I can untap and attack with this for lethal if they sweep me. I like the idea of that. If they fatal push my Lair of the Hydra, then... Oh, they didn't fatal push the Lair. Okay. So they go down to 6 here, and I don't get to do lethal with the Lair by itself here, but it's still not looking bad. Extinction event for E-Odd. You got it. Okay, so they have 1 card in hand, no creature lands. Do we draw an elf? We do draw an elf. So I'm actually just going to do this instead. So if this shaman in the pack here doesn't get censored, make it disappear. I'm going to let this get countered and resolve the shaman. So I'm aware that they only go down to 5, but a 3-power attacker is going to be a lot better in conjunction with this Lair of the Hydra. Oh, sick. So we just won. All right, cool. Oh, no, they can technically Memory Deluge into a Fatal Push plus something else. Ugh. Will you please stop surviving, opponent? Thoughtseize? Not quite. Fine. If they have another Fatal Push here, then I don't get to kill them here. We attack and take them down to 2. But let's threaten lethal. And they did find another Fatal Push. All right, opponent, go to 2. Our opponent is doing their absolute best to be so annoyingly alive. Seriously? Is this also a Supreme Verdict? Oh, another Deluge. They can still find a Verdict. Okay. They can also find an Extinction event for Odd. So they actually have a surprisingly high amount of outs to this too. Gross. And Wandering Emperor takes them to 4. Give me a Coco, I guess. That wasn't even particularly close. Okay, so I'm gonna kill the Wandering Emperor because I already can't beat like just a 2/2 with this Land of Warehouse by itself. So what's this? And there's a Teferi. It's always annoying when your opponent's alive, right? Like, opponent, could you just stop that? That'd be great. Okay, so my Llanowar Elf is now tucked. And unfortunately, I do not have a Coco to resolve at end of turn, so... Womp womp. Hell yeah, Elvish Mystic, exactly what I wanted. Like, the chance of them thought seizing me is incredibly low, but it might not be 0, so I'm holding this for 1 more turn here. But the likelihood of us actually getting across these last 4 points with a Teferi in play is pretty low, not gonna lie. And now, of course, they draw all their Fatal Pushes too after farewelling the Shaper Sanctuaries away. So that's really sad times, because we were kind of looking forward to being able to use those. So they've got 3 cards, and man, we are all out of offense. Okay, so this is the one that they knew about. Right? No, Llanowar Elves. The next draw is the Llanowar Elf that they knew about. So we're still not really doing anything here, which kind of sucks. So if they just like present a threat, then that's not Teferi. Then I don't mind just packing it up and keeping it going. But at this point, it is gonna be pretty much impossible to get over this, and a Hall of Storm Giants certainly qualifies. Yeah, honestly, that's good enough, because like we know that we're drawing the Llanowar Elf here. So what's this? Just holding you up as a blocker, I assume. Yeah, all right, good enough. So unfortunately, we're gonna go 0-2 here, and let's keep playing here. Maybe we can like salvage a 3-2 out of this, you know, at least feel a little decent about the deck. Nope, not on the play this round. So let's see what Lucine comes up with here. We have a one-lander with 2 elves, Twining's Elite, Circle of Dreams Druid. This is a one-lander I think I'm going to be willing to try. Because at least this one-lander, unlike a lot of the others, like actually does show some promise. I can't currently cast Tyvar, but any black-green land lets me have like the Wombo combo here. So we're going to give ourselves a chance to do the cool thing. Don't really want more Planeswalkers. And Indatha Triome tells me that I'm looking at probably something that wants to play, what's that card that goes with all the Triomes? Leyline Binding. So I could be looking at anything from like Enigmatic Incarnation to just like some cool control deck, or just like a 3-color deck that simply happens to have the Triome in it. More Elvish Mystic. So we don't get to untap with our friend, and we are not seeing a second land yet. So crossing fingers. And there's a Leyline Binding, okay. Deck. Okay, so they still have 4 of 5 colors, no blue yet. So they can still Leyline Binding us just fine, seeing as those will cost only 2. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Elvish Mystic here. At least try to be able to untap with one at some point here. And if we can get ourselves into casting this and maybe getting to use it at some point, that's technically an out to being able to play this. Celestis. Okay, that's kind of cool. Can't do much about that. And here we go. So now what I can do is Tyvar here. Yeah, we're going to try to resolve the cool thing. So let's do that. Got some deck lists for Bant Spirits in Modern? No. If I'm being completely honest with you, I haven't played Modern in a while anyway, but also when I do play Modern, I generally don't play Bant. So I'm just not really going to be the person to ask for you there. So instead of untapping this and resolving Dwynen's Elite, I think I'm going to mill so that I can guarantee get back this Llanowar Elves, or something else if I want something else more. Yes, I would like to use the ability, and I actually want the War Master more. And I'll just get an attack in then. Yeah, so when I played a lot of Modern, I was playing generally Azorius anyway. So even at that point in time, honestly, I just wouldn't have had a Bant Spirits list up and available because I just don't play the deck. So 5 colors, are you just a Scarab God? That's a scary god. Okay. Okay, so we get to do things, which is nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and resolve the cool card here. Let's get our Circle of Dreams Druid in. That's gonna trigger the War Master. So we're gonna get a nice elf here. And we get to tap for 5, a total of 10 mana here. So we get to Chord for 3. Yeah, let's do that. So this gets us a copy of Shaman in a pack. And now that we've got 4 creatures in play, 4 untapped creatures in play, I can also either Chord of Calling or Coco during their turn as well. Okay. Yeah, this certainly isn't bad. Thanks so much. Best wishes. You too. So what I would suggest doing is probably hitting up the MTG Spirits Discord, and I'll dig up an invite link for that. Because I know that they do talk about all versions of Spirits, including Bant in Modern. Here's an invite link, I guess. Here we go. Copy. There you go. What's this? 4 mana, 5 mana, probably a Bring to Light. Not a fan, can't do anything about it. Okay, so Bring to Light is going to cast probably a Shadow's Verdict. Deafening Clarion, close enough. Against a Deafening Clarion, I think I'm just going to do this. Float a bunch of mana, let Deafening Clarion resolve, and then resolve a Collected Company afterwards. Shaman in a pack and a Leaf Crown Visionary? Don't mind if I do. I can also Shaman in a pack and Dwynen's Elite, which gives me a blocker that I don't care about in the Dwynen's Elite as well. I only have 1 creature in hand, so the draw from the Visionary is actually probably not that relevant this turn anyway. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So any order is fine here. I want the Shaman of the pack to resolve last. There we go. So now I have the extra token for the extra points worth of damage on the Shaman. Perfect. So if they attack here, they are going to get to gain 5 life, but I'm going to get this thing the hell off the table. So that protects my Tyvar, that gets the Scarab God off the table for a couple of turns. So yeah, all right. I'm not mad at it. So let's untap, see if I can draw, I don't know, another land maybe? Also, do I have a Leaf Crown Visionary in here? No, I do not. Okay. Oh, but we do have another Shaman. Okay. So what can I do here? I can... mana value 2 or less is the reanimate. Let's see. I can Dwynen's Elite, Chord for just 1 then? That doesn't sound that good. I think I'm just gonna click the +1 only for the purpose of keeping my Tyvar alive next turn and just try to basically win a much more normal game then. Let's attack first. There's no way anything in this deck actually has haste, but on the off chance that something does, then whatever, I'll be glad for the untap, I guess. So I can't chord here, which is kind of whatever, but on the next turn here, I can potentially chord for a copy of Circle of Dreams Druid and just like go off from there depending on whatever happens here. So if this is another Bring to Light for a sweeper, then yeah, sure, I'm sad. Bring to Light, yep. Can't you just cast like a Niv Mizzet? I'd be alright with that. And Shadow's Verdict, so they did have another sweeper, and it's going to be one that gets rid of my Planeswalker too? Seriously? Opponent, get a hobby. Anyway. That's how I feel about that. So I'm going to do this and see if Tyvar can spin me into... Oh, did I not tap the Overgrown Tomb for black? There we go. I'm going to see if Tyvar can spin me into some cool 2-drop. Yes, I would like to use the ability, and Llanowar Elves is not bad. I can't do anything with it just yet, but it could be a lot worse than that. So I currently have 5 mana with the ability to untap here to here. That gets me, what? A chord for 2 potentially? That's okay. Abrupt Decay on my Tyvar, so I no longer have that. And what are we doing with 3 mana? Oath of Kaya on my Elf. That sucks. Shaman count. I have this and 1 more Shaman after. I think I still want to cast this Shaman here so that I at least have the out of being able to attack. So I'm technically on a 4-turn clock here, and they're not playing Yorion. So there's technically a chance. It's not pretty, but it's there. But I do like putting them on a multiple of 3 for that purpose. So what do you cost? 3 to use your ability? Yeah. Fabled Passage is going to get the white land, so they have another Bring to Light coming, or maybe Niv Mizzet itself this time. They're just playing the Scarab God, okay. I mean, I shouldn't say just playing the Scarab God. That card is scary. But let's go ahead and Jaspera Sentinel here. What can they bring back? A 4/4 Llanowar Elf? Sure. Can't do much about that. So what do I want to grab here? I have the ability to chord for up to 2. If I chord for 2, that gives me a Leaf Crown Visionary, and any creature then can turn into card draw. That's not the worst. Of course, I would have to be able to untap with it, but I don't think it's nothing. So if they attack, I'm definitely not blocking. Yeah, you got that. So I'll go down to 13. Hope to evade a sweeper. Looks like we did evade a sweeper. That's nice. So X is 2. And let's see if we get away with that. Urtai. That sucks. So they're going to counter my spell. I get to draw a card. Unfortunate. So hopefully we can draw Leaf Crown Visionary anyway. You know what? Almost. And I will be attacking with my Shaman. If they block, then they block. Oh, I'm bad. I just realized putting this in the graveyard was like one of the dumbest things I could have done there. Oops. Oh, that is going to feel so bad later. So now, okay, sweet. So at least they didn't do this to get rid of this, but they can still reanimate Urtai to counter one of my spells. So basically I want to use some kind of bait spell to get rid of Urtai before trying to resolve the only shaman I have left. There's Omnath. I think Omnath might have taken away my ability to keep playing anyway. They did have another land. They're at 16. I'll give it another draw step here, but I think we're going to end up 0-3 dropping this one. So let's untap here. And it's a forest. All right, yeah, I'm off it. So here we have Shaper Sanctuary, kind of the same plan as last time. With Vivian, except this time instead of Thoughtseize, I actually want the Reclamation Sages because we did see the what card am I thinking of? We saw Leyline Binding, but we can probably safely assume that they have maybe what is the 4-drop called? Fires of Invention as well. So let's do this, and I am going to take out a lot of this package. Or are you actually worse? I'm going to keep in combo and shave on the Dwynen's Elites, I think. Yeah, let's try that. And we still have 29 creatures for Coco purposes. Okay. And we are kind of getting it handed to us right now. So how do we approach this here? We have, of course, the Shaper Sanctuary. We've got a lot of late game stuff. So really, we just got to cross our fingers and hope we get to untap with a lot of creatures. That's pretty much the takeaway here. And then Reclamation Sage can rebuy our friends, which I kind of like. If opponent is also playing like Nylea's Presence, I actually don't think we're supposed to Reclamation Sage those. Since they're not playing Yorion, right? Like, since they're not playing Yorion, I don't think I really care too much about the Nylea's Presence aspect of things, even if Reclamation Sage is, like, one of the best plays. I think we're supposed to save those for Leyline Bindings. Or if they're playing Fires for Fires, but I don't think they're playing Fires. Yeah, I don't know. To be determined. Let's play first here. And, it's not great, but it's okay. So I've got both Reclamation Sage and Boseiju for any potential copies of, well, really anything. So there's lots of options at least to go with. Endotha Triome, you got it. Overgrown Tomb, whatever. So we don't need to take damage here. I can just cast my stuff. And here is where I really want to just start drawing things like Vivian's and Collected Companies, even Tyvar, just lots of things to generate advantage now that I have mana. So I really do not want more mana if you're listening, deck. Also, there we go. I just said... All right, well, we're still going to attack for 3 here. Okay, so now we have 4 colors available. So Leyline Binding costs 2, and that's fine. I think I'm gonna play. Oh, right, I already played a land. I think I'm gonna pass. So here, if they want to play, I don't know, like they gotta play something here. I think. Like I don't. Okay, so this gets a mountain, and now they have all kinds of options. Red, white. Okay, so we're looking at a Deafening Clarion then. That's possible. Okay, so we're doing nothing. So let's untap. And a Circle of Dreams Druid. Okay, so what you're telling me here, opponent, is that I'm definitely walking into some kind of sweeper, and my plan should just be to be really sad about it. Should I play you anyway and draw a card? No, I think I'll just attack here. They get to play a sweeper, I cry about the sweeper, and then I play Circle of Dreams Druid with the intent to hopefully just do a bunch of better stuff the following turn. Abrupt Decay? Okay. So they take 3, go to 11. Okay, so they currently don't have double black, but they're still holding basically everything else. Yeah, Supreme Verdict, okay. So no Shadows Verdict, but they are also playing Supreme Verdict. Sure. More elves. More elves. So instead of elves here, I would really love to see like Coco's. I'd love to see Vivian's would be especially great. We've got 3 of those available in the list. 3, 4, 5. Are you Scarab God again? Yes, you are. Thumbs down to their Scarab God. And that's just going to come in tapped. Okay. So now let's untap and draw something cool. Lair to Hydra is not on the list of things I wanted to draw there. So they can reanimate Leaf Crown Visionary here to deny me flipping it off of Tyvar. And it looks like they're going to choose to not do that. But with 5 cards in their hand, they can also just kind of do really whatever the hell they want. Okay, we stay at 11. They have 6 mana. Carded. So they probably just attack me, right? Yeah. So I'm kind of stuck taking this. I take 5, go to 14, and I still can't attack because they have an untapped 4/4. Okay, and they're not even going to bother attacking. Okay, which makes sense. They have like the Leaf Crown Visionary or an Elvish Mystic or whatever out of my graveyard. A War Master is an okay start. So I am just going to cast you in the hopes that I get to start drawing cards and maybe just get to do stuff. Oh, I don't have a Visionary. Duh, I had a War Master. Never mind. Don't even get to do that. So do we reanimate one of my friends now? I mean, I have to assume the answer is yes, right? Yeah, they did. Okay. So now I've got a 4/4 Elvish Mystic to stare down. If they want to reanimate somebody else now, they can do that. Cool thing about this next turn, though, is that I can at least untap and then do the +2s and Death Touch thing. So there's not 0 outs, assuming I don't catch the bad end of a sweeper right now. It's just kind of bad. Getting worse. Okay. So let's see if they play like a Fabled Passage here to do a bunch of other stuff too. Okay, we're going to go up to 15. Not quite the Fabled Passage that would put me in the dirt here, but it's still fairly bad. So what do we got? 6 mana total? Yeah. So I will take 5 and go to 13 if they attack here. And we're just not even going to bother. Okay. Sentinel. Let's do this. War Master. I'm honestly pretty certain this is like a very hopeless outlook here. But I'll do this and at least pretend to fight back. Okay, so I assume they block this just with the Elvish Mystic and call it a day. Yeah. So they're not going to take anything here, but at least the Omnath is off the table. They have to... Oh, they can just reanimate the Omnath. What am I doing? All right. Yeah, I think I've had enough here. Niv in the wild. I know, right? Okay, so we're done here. Let's go ahead and drop from this league. So that was a very sad-faced 0-3 with Elves, and I don't necessarily mind losing with Elves because it's not a deck that I actually play or really want to get into, but I thought it would be cool with the new Planeswalker, and to be fair, when we got to do the thing, it was cool. It's just a lot of decks were able to stop us from doing the thing, and Greasefang had a pretty sweet combo. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I did play that one turn as if I were safe from Parhelion, which was true by itself, but then the Morit combo came out and I just got bodied by it, so that's on me for not knowing better there. I should have just activated my War Master and tried to kill him. But here, Bant Spirits. So obviously a deck that I'm going to be a lot more familiar with, and I'm hoping just a lot better positioned anyway. So not to mention it has a much better Niv plan. So yeah, the mana here, very excited about the mana. We just talked about that earlier. So this entire list is really going to be geared towards what I think the top of the meta is going to be doing still. Since this is the first week of a format, I think a lot of people are going to be playing cards that are just like the thing that they've been used to. And we're pretty good against that, right? Like, we have a good, solid anti-Rakdos plan. Like, we've got Cocos, we've got Extraction Specialist, we've got Shaper Sanctuary. People are going to be playing mono green. We've got a good mono green plan. We've got Portable Holes, we've got Disdainful Strokes. And then for all of the more aggressive things, we still have Portable here. But of course, Extraction Specialist being a life linker is also a really big deal. And for things like Greasefang and whatnot, Remorseful Cleric is there. So I think I like our sideboard. Again, keeping it nice and simple with like 4 ofs, 3 ofs, only 1 2 of, but it's probably against matchups that we're not that scared of, so I'm okay with only having 2 clerics. And let's just see how this performs with the new mana base. So we're definitely switching over to Bant this time. And I'm hoping that this new mana makes the deck operate a lot more smoothly than it has in the past. So that's kind of our goal there. And our hand is not bad. So we've got blue land, white land guaranteed. A Seachrome Coast turns this into a near perfect Skyclave Apparition hand as well. So let's see what this basic plains is doing. Are we just playing humans? We are playing humans. So I'm good with humans here. Oh yeah, I can also change the on deck display too. And there's our second white source, so that's kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn here. If they don't have a Luminarch Aspirant or a Thalia's Lieutenant, I will block the Recruitment Officer. They do have a Thalia's Lieutenant, so I guess I just, I don't know, get sad about that. So not much I'm doing about that. So let's go ahead and let them attack me for 3 here. No block, I'll just do this and untap. So what do we draw? A Supreme Phantom. So I can do a couple of things here. I can play Eiganjo as a land, which I think is going to be what I want to do here. And I can play one of my Shacklegeists with the intent to simply tap this down. I think I like that plan, since next turn I'm probably going to want a Skyclave Apparition, get an attack in for 2, and then use the Spectral Sailor and the Skyclave Apparition to tap down something else. So I think that play is probably the best around almost anything that's not named Brutal Cathar. God damn it. All right. Well, I guess they just also had the Brutal Cathar, so it is what it is. Bant Spirits. So, good night, friend Shacklegeist. So we take 2 here, go down to 15, and there's a Seachrome Coast. Perfect. So this is actually exactly why we did this, right? We knew that we had Seachrome Coast available in the list, and now I have perfect Skyclave Apparition, while still keeping my green mana for the card that I want to cast, a Collect a Company if I draw one. So I get to do this, take back my Shacklegeist, attack for 1, and I can still go ahead and tap this down. Or the Thalia's Lieutenant if they just go like, I don't know, double human or something. But I'm pretty glad that ended up working out there. All right, so let's go ahead and do this so that y'all can see the entire 75 here. Move my big ass head up a little bit. There we go. All right, so now we get to move off of their draw step. And hopefully they don't just have like another Brutal Cathar to get rid of the Skyclave here. I don't really want to fight that fight. Athalia is honestly only medium obnoxious. Like my entire hand is creatures anyway, so I don't really care about that right now. Hopeful Initiate will get annoying eventually. And since that card's on the table, it also means I kind of want to watch my life total just a little bit here. So let's do this, take 3, go down to 12, and see what I can start doing with the help of Supreme Phantom and probably Selfless Spirit next turn. But if I draw a Coco, I do now have to wait until I see land number 5. So I'm not going to show them the green land here. Instead, I'll just do this and play card A, card B. Yes, I just wanted to say that. And I think I'm just going to attack with Shacklegeist, tap down 2 creatures, and then untap for a much bigger attack. I like that idea. So the other alternative there is that I could have attacked with like Skyclave Apparition 2, see if they wanted to trade off 2 creatures for the 1. And I don't even know that that was necessarily correct to not offer that trade. Because if I can get 2 bodies off the table for a non-human 3/3, Tomic is actually pretty freaking sweet. So yeah, I do actively like Tomic out of these decks. Like being able to tap down to stop both Nykthos and Lotus Field things in their tracks while being a 2/3 flyer against us is honestly kind of a big deal. Is this Brave the Elements? It is. That's fine. I guess I'll just do this again. So that's actually completely okay here because I'm only going from 12 to what, 5? And with the other Shacklegeist in hand, assuming I draw another creature to help out, I think we might still end up being okay. Like, they're at 16. I do have another Shacklegeist is not great, but 2 more creatures is. So even though they're not 2 creatures that I wanted necessarily, I'm still happy that something additional is here, right? So here I'm just going to attack with, what, 2 of my 3/3s? I think I'm just going to attack with these. Yeah. And with the Selfless Spirit, this guarantees that I have the highest number of blockers available, and my creatures will live combat thanks to the Selfless Spirit. One of the flyers, or Shacklegeist can block Tomic because it's a flyer. Yeah, I think this is all right. I still got to be a little careful because I'm only at 5. So of note, I only have 4 blockers to their 5 attackers though, so that's something I really want to pay attention to as well while I'm here. So what I can do then is get profitable blocks, assuming no Brave the Elements or other card I'm trying to think of. Another Thales Lieutenant. That would kind of suck. A Brutal Cathar on my Selfless Spirit would also suck. I don't know. They have a lot of options. But I think I'm okay with almost anything up to and including like an Adeline. Yeah, any of the non-Brutal Cathar creatures I think I'm okay with. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so I'm not going to tap anything because I do need all of my blockers to actually block. So are we just going to click attack all here? Close. Okay. Nope, we're not going to click attack all because you don't want to get attacked back by the Skyclave Apparition. Okay, that's fine. And luckily for me, this attack here is nowhere near good enough, which is nice. So here, if I want to just get rid of them, right, like all I have to do is block the Lieutenant with Spectral Sailor and take the 2 from Hopeful Initiate, and then I can start tapping things down. And that beats out a lot of things. The only thing that I'm still scared of if they do that is what? The Brutal Cathar targeting my Supreme Phantom, because then I'm only holding up 8 power in the air, not 10. But if my Supreme Phantom untaps, then this looks like a game that we've won. But luckily, the Selfless Spirit, the Spectral Sailor doesn't actually make a difference that way, one way or the other. So I'm still just going to do this and take 3 and go to 2. So Shacklegeist tap here, tap 1, tap 2. Yeah, take 3, go to 2. So be almost anything that is not named Brutal Cathar, please and thank you. You know what? I probably should have been a little more specific, huh? All right, fine. I did ask for not that, and I should have been a lot more specific, actually. Yeah, no, that's right. So, how can I win here? Not with that. Damn it. Oh, man, I think we've lost now. That's upsetting. Yeah, unfortunate. So our Shacklegeist can't block, which sucks. And they did have the removal off the top of the deck that they needed. So I don't know, I think we gave ourselves a pretty good chance to play around things and simply didn't get there, which is fine. So what do I want now? I don't really want Selfless Spirits. Shacklegeist is actually not that great because as we saw, tapping down 2 of our creatures to tap down 1 of theirs is just like not really a great winning plan here. And Spectral Sailor's kind of medium. I do like the Lofty Denials. Just countering copies of like Adeline and Brutal Cathar is still pretty good. Did you have lethal? What did I miss? No. Unfortunately, we didn't have a way to produce lethal. So we had the 3 Shacklegeists and the Selfless Spirit in the air, but that's only 8 damage and they were at 10. And the Skyclave Apparition could have just been blocked by the recruitment officer that was still on the ground. So unfortunately, we just didn't have a way to produce lethal there. But then on the other way back, too, since we had 3 Shacklegeists and not enough ground pounders, even with Selfless Spirit tricks, we couldn't block them effectively on the ground either because we can only block up to 2 of their creatures and they had 5 attackers. So unfortunately for us, we were pretty dead there. Oh, Christ, what am I supposed to do with this? This is a lot better. So here, let's keep this, and I'm going to put back one of these 2 extraction specialists. So let's do this, and we've got a lot of things, I guess, to be able to do. And if I end up getting into combat with something that I can draw this next turn, then I'll be fairly happy about that. This is not something I plan on portable holding. I'm just going to develop my Supreme Phantom. Oh, that's pretty good, too. So, yeah, I don't know. Green source, go. So now if they have like a Thalia's Lieutenant to make this recruitment officer a 3/2, then I can go ahead and start using like my Skyclave, Portable Hole, things like that. If we get into a combat situation, I'll be pretty happy about... Oh, that's actually not bad, because I can just get my thing back from the ossification. Otawara? Okay. So which do I want to do here? I have options. So my options are I can Portable Hole here, get my Supreme Phantom back, but not use my other 2 mana. I can Skyclave Apparition this, get my Supreme Phantom back, but then I'm worried about a Brutal Cathar coming off the top, and I can't do anything about a Brutal Cathar. Option 3 is I can simply play Extraction Specialist as a lifelinker, and I actually think that's the most attractive. Oh, I thought I clicked back on it. Yeah, like I actually think this is okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's a Luminarch Aspirant. That's going to be a relatively nice target for my friend Portable Hole here. Oh, that's also not bad. So does that change what I want to do here? I think the answer is yes. I'm going to play you first so that I'm playing around Brave the Elements. And I want to now Skyclave on the Luminarch Aspirant. So you go here. All right, get countered. And I'm okay with putting the Mausoleum Wanderer in the graveyard because I know I have more Extraction Specialists later. So I'm just going to start pressing the attack, see if they want to block. If whether they will block or not, I get life. And here I'm just kind of hoping to dodge a Brutal Cathar on my Skyclave. So if I can dodge that or just draw Rattle Chains like on this next turn or something. That'd be super sweet. But it looks like they're going to let me keep my lifelinker around, which is also kind of nice. There's Eiganjo, okay. So it's also good to know that Eiganjo is not going to be doing that thing at least. So I will walk Extraction Specialist into an Eiganjo if they're holding one. Yeah, I think that's okay. So as of right now, they're simply representing draw a card like we do with Spectral Sailor. But if they are also holding up an Eiganjo for this Extraction Specialist, I think that's fine too. I'm not going to walk this into it though. And they're just going to block. Okay, so are you also going to block and use the ability? Is that what we're doing with the whole turn here? It is. Okay. I'm okay with that. So let's see what they find. Hey, you plan on doing more one-trick videos? Probably not more specifically the one-trick theme, but more collaborative videos talking about different aspects of playing the game. I do plan on doing more of those. Just gotta, like, you know, obviously make time to both want to talk about Magic and have other people with available free time as well. But I think the one-trick thing was just like, here's an explanation of why you would want to be one. And then, of course, find different inputs on that. So they find a Luminarch Aspirant, so they can make it itself a 2/2 if they want. By itself, that's not quite good enough. Never mind. So you can Portable Hole, my Portable Hole, get Ossification back. Nope, nope, we're just getting rid of Supreme Phantom again. Okay. I actually don't think that was the optimal use of that, but whatever. Not my problem. Or everything is my problem. All right, deck, you can do it. So now this is going to be a 3/3, and they can start attacking me down now. If that's the plan, I can't really do much about it, so you got me. And also, they have 4 lands in play and haven't really done much of anything for a couple of turns, so I'm pretty worried about them just having a bunch of defensive things. Rattle Chains. That is actually not a bad draw. So Rattle Chains here protects me from Brutal Cathar, which is super nice. And if they have Eiganjo, I'm safe from that currently as well. I am worried about them putting 2 counters on this, getting rid of my Portable Hole for their Ossification, but I currently can't do anything about that. So let's see what happens here. Are you just like a second Eiganjo? Okay, so we're at 15. You come in tapped. And let's go ahead and see what it is they come up with here. They also didn't give themselves 4 mana to... Oh, no, never mind. Recruitment Officer's dead. What's this? What? Oh, among creatures you control. Whoops. All right. Well, I'm just bad then. So I'm still using my Rattle Chains now then. So at least now this Ossification's pretty much dead, which is nice. And what do I want to draw here? I really just want to start drawing Cocos, right? Like, I don't... Oh, damn it. Well, they had a Brutal Cathar anyway. So from here, I really just want to start seeing Cocos. If I can see things like Skyclave Apparitions to get rid of this, that'd be lovely. Oh, I'm actually surprised they didn't kill off my Skyclave. Getting themselves a 2/2 token probably would have been pretty good. So I take 4, go to 17, cry about that. And I think I will offer a trade here. Like, there's no way they actually take the trade, but I think I offer it. And I have a small dilemma here. I can let Brutal Cathar flip and hold up the Spell Queller for purposes of simply casting, and I think that's what I'm going to end up doing here. I can also get a surprise block in on the Luminarch Aspirant too. So if they put the counter on like the Brutal Cathar, nope, they just put it on itself. Okay. All right, so they go for the biggest possible attack here, which is going to be 9. I go down to 8. And I think I'm just going to cry about that and go to 8. So if I get to do this and still get to draw a Coco, then I'm fairly happy about that. Whether they cast something or not, I'm going to put the Spell Queller in play here. So now let's untap. Options exist. So Skyclave can get rid of Moonrain Brew. I go to 5, and that gets me back Rattle Chains and allows me to block for a turn. I can Skyclave Portable Hole. Portable Hole gets me back my Supreme Phantom. I attack for 6, go to 7, and as long as I don't die, I then have Lethal in the air. I don't think I'm winning this game if I don't basically make them deal with things here. So I'm going to do that. So this does lose to just like, honestly, a half decent removal spell, but I can do this. Oh no. Now what? Why is that in your deck? Why is that in your list? I'm so mad. It's going to work. But we don't play any enchantments, and all my creatures are 2/1s and 2/2s. You got me, I guess. Holy crap. Okay. Well, to be fair, it probably didn't matter what removal they used. Just removal would have been good enough. And I'm salty because it was the wrong removal to use against me, but fuck it, they found a one-off scenario where it actually works. But if you're a mono white player and you're playing yourself against spirits, don't ever do that. The chances of our creatures being 4 toughness is almost always incredibly low. So we got the die roll this time against Darg. And this hand is not the worst I've ever seen. All right, whatever. I'll keep it. So here I can Breeding Pool, tapped on 1, Seachrome Coast, untapped on 2, have perfect mana. I do like that. So we're already seeing a little bit of the smoothness that Seachrome Coast provides, because here with this kind of hand, I would have normally have, oh, mono green, sick. So I would normally have had to choose between playing like a Darker Wastes and taking a Pain if I wanted to play this, or I would have had to use Iganjo. And I don't really want to use Iganjo if I can help it, right? Like I want to use this as a spell rather than as a creature anytime I'm able to do it. But here, they're just going to go ahead and get to develop their mana. And, oh good. I was going to say Oath of Nissa. So they can find whatever. And a Karn is something that I can spell quell. So I'm honestly kind of happy about that. So here I'm just going to get to go ahead attack for 2. I'm not going to do the thing where I tap down Elvish Mystic because I already have a solution to the Karn that we just watched them find. So all right. Give me yo homie. And I don't really want to be drawing all of these lands here, so I kind of want to be on the lookout for that. But I do want to play another blue source here, get an attack for 2 in, and here I will play Selfless Spirit in my second main and tap down the Elvish Mystic now. This stops them from, at least for a turn, being able to play like a Cavalier. And if they just want to play like a forest into an Old Growth Troll, I think I just let that slide. And they only have 2 devotions, so Flip Cupping Nykthos doesn't do anything. Do I want to counter this? I think the answer is no. You can have that. So I am aware that that can potentially get dangerous later on. And if I'm keeping it real, I just don't really care about that aspect of it. So I could attack you down and take you to 1. If you want to use yourself once, then you end up dying. But I honestly think here I just want to try to get you dead. So I now have lethal over the course of 3 turns, a counterspell for your first big nasty thing, and honestly, I don't think that's the worst place to be, right? So there's Beseju, that has no text against me, of course. Old Growth Troll. So what I can do here against Old Growth Troll, I can just counter it, right? And if this wants to flip cup into mana, then they can only transmute 3 mana into 3 mana. So I actually think this is the turn where I want to get rid of this. Like they currently can't pay 4. This denies them a card draw, and they can't flip cup into enough mana to cast anything else relevant other than exactly another Old Growth Troll. But if I had let that resolve, they instead go to 6, and now they could have flip cupped into something more dangerous like a Cavalier or I don't know, something else. So 3 is a Karn. Karn is annoying, but ultimately fine. So what is this gonna get? Like a boat? Yes, it is a boat. It could be anything. It could even be a boat. Mausoleum Wanderer. I think I am not going to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and attack you down to 6, Karn down to 1, simply so you can't use it, and I'll just be okay with that. I'll put you in tapped. So now if they target one of my 2-drops or one of my 2 power creatures with the boat, then I do still have to cry about the fact that I can't kill them unless I draw another spirit to trigger this. And that is sad times. But here they have to choose between, like, I don't know, boat maybe trying to kill this, or playing something to crew the boat. Can they play something to crew the boat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they could, in theory, play what? 2 more elves to generate 3 total power, and the boat. That's exactly 7 mana, so that doesn't work. Okay, so they do have a Cavalier, so that's going to be pretty obnoxious, not going to lie. At least the upside to that is that they currently don't get to do stupid Nykthos things. They found a forest, okay. Oh, but they had another land anyway. Okay, so yes, they do. So now this is what? 3, 4, 5, 6 mana total. So if it's Storm to Festival, I can counter that. Never mind. So they go up to what? 10 here? So I can actually still counter it with this. Or they had 1 in hand anyway. Never mind. And they find another Cavalier. Why is it always multiple Cavaliers? Okay. So what do they find here? They find another Nykthos. So they have 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they can flip cup into 11 mana, which lets them cast this other Storm to Festival and evade Mausoleum Wanderer by 1 mana. Oh, that I don't care about. So wait, doesn't that lose them a mana? Oh, it doesn't matter. So we actually do still have an out here. I could draw a Coco that gets me 2 spirits. That is actually good enough to still be lethal through all of this. So unless a Storm to Festival here finds a 3rd Cavalier, that would suck. Elvish Mystic and another Karn. Okay. They still have enough mana for Battle Boat, so I think we've lost this game. So let's see, how do I win here? So there's the boat. And the boat should take out something with 2 power. If they go for either of these, then I'll just, yeah. So let's see, I can spin a Coco. A Coco into Lords still gets there? Oh, god damn it. Also a Heart of Kirin, never mind. So actually, Heart of Kirin thinks I think we actually have just lost. But also we didn't get there anyway. So yeah. Upsetting. So we've got Disdainful Strokes here. We've got Portable Holes for Mana Dorks. Cards that I don't really care about are Selfless Spirit, Spectral Sailors, kind of medium at best. And what else do I not really care about or want here? Rattle Chains, where are you? So Rattle Chains honestly is just like the worst spirit against this deck that's not Selfless Spirit or something. Because like the hexproof just doesn't really matter. And enabling flash for things like Shacklegeist Supreme Phantom when you're holding up counterspell mana is relevant. But I don't think it's anywhere near as relevant as like extra Lord effects or actually dealing with their stuff. So I think that's why I like cutting Rattle Chains against specifically mono green and probably only mono green. This is better. So I'm going to put back one of these Branch Loft pathways. Because I just don't really need 2 green-white pathways here. So let's do that. Let's do this. And once again, I'll simply put you into play tapped and see what my opponent comes up with. Okay, there's a friend elf. Let's untap. And here I'm just going to play my green source into a Supreme Phantom. So here they can come at me with like an Old Growth Troll or a Kiora. And I think I'll be happy to Skyclave Apparition either of those, if I'm being honest. So there's a Kiora. You got it. So let's see if they make another elf. Looks like we do, in fact, make another elf. Oh, no, it's an Othanissa. Okay, that's actually a lot better for me. So the reason that's a lot better, right? Oh. Overgrown Tomb. Good to know. So Overgrown Tomb specifically means that I want to be on the lookout for like any kind of Vraska style draws. I don't think I'm in a place to do anything about it currently, but I am going to use this to get rid of that. And then just do this. So the reason I was happy about that though is because now they can only make at max 4 mana and not 5, which means that this is safe to get rid of the Kiora here rather than having to hold this up for a Cavalier. Wolfwillow Haven, you got it. Nykthos can flip cup for 3. And what's this, an Old Growth Troll? Yes, it is. A Shacklegeist, actually not a bad draw. So let's go ahead and do this. Play Shacklegeist, attack for my 1, since I'm definitely not attacking through Old Growth Troll here. And I will tap down the Mystic and just take the 4. Yeah. So I don't know how much double spelling that might cut off, but I think I'll give myself the ability to cut off double spells since I don't have a Disdainful Stroke in hand. So there's 7 mana here. Can't counter that. They have 4 mana available. Now they have, oh, still 4. So let's see if they cast like a Karn or if they just kind of skip the turn here. And it looks like they're going to otherwise skip the turn. So I get attacked for 4 here, go down to 14. Don't have another mana for my Iganjo, but this is kind of what I was saving it for. So let's untap, and Whether I draw a land or a spell, I'm happy-ish either way. So here I'm going to attack for 3. And I think double Lofty is probably not even that bad, right? So I at least get to guarantee deal with like one thing. I would still have rathered one of these things be like a Disdainful Stroke. Or like I usually play in Azorius, Aether Gust would have been fine too. Cavalier with 4 mana left. Yeah, alright. I guess I'm tapping you out. Okay. So they've paid the 4. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And it's not really fun using 2 cards to deal with their 1, but the alternative is letting a Cavalier resolve, and I really can't get away with that. Oh, alright, that probably feels bad. You a Karn? You are a Karn. Okay. So now Karn can get like a Battle Boat, and I'm really hoping to just draw like a copy of Disdainful Stroke to counter that. That'd be super nice. They do get Battle Boat. Okay, so I take 4, go to 10. And let's just untap and a Coco. That's not bad, actually. So Coco can spin me into a Lord, and a Lord will help to get rid of any of the 3 damage things. And it doesn't matter whether it's a Supreme Phantom or if it's a Empyrean Eagle. Either way, it works just fine. My 1-of Rattle Chains that's still in the deck will also work. And if I spin 2 creatures... okay, lots of Old Growth Trolls. So they have Troll plus Battle Boat as the entirety of their hand currently, so we do know that. Okay, so let's see where they target before casting Coco. And they are targeting my Shacklegeist. Honestly, good plan, opponent. So we're hoping to make that plan. Come on! Jesus Christ. Okay, Magic. So I take 8 and just go to 2 here and just die? Good lord. There's nothing I can do here. Yeah, we're dead. Man, that is rough. We are taking some savage L's today. Okay. I think I'm off of it. I'm just not going to finish this league either. Man, so some takeaways from playing Bant as well then. So it is not a secret that, honestly, stuff like this is exactly why I don't play Bant. I simply don't like the deck like that. But the mana itself was nice and smooth, and that is the improvement to the deck that we were looking to test. So any of you who are actually inclined to play Bant on a somewhat regular basis, you can, take some solace in the fact that the mana, thanks to the Seachrome Coast, it is only 3 cards different, but that mattered a lot, right? Like, when we actually did see more than 1 land at a time, the mana was incredibly smooth, and we had all of our colors. We didn't have any instances where we were unable to cast Coco, or any instances where we were unable to cast Skyclave Apparition. So I actually like this mana base a lot as a starting point, and even if I don't like the rest of what's happening over on this half of the deck, I did still enjoy the fact that, the deck got to draw its appropriate lands and spells. About Bant itself, it just kind of is what it is. Like, sometimes you just know that you're going into a game plan that's not your favorite, and it just doesn't pan out, but that's okay. The Coco spinning into just Mausoleum Wanderer was obviously a fucking disaster, but you have that sometimes when you play the decks. So I really like the mana change, though. So those of you who want to be playing 4 Skyclave Apparitions in one list, know that this mana setup allowed me to do that every single time I drew one. If I were to play this deck and try to take it seriously, though, I think one big change I would make here is probably literally not even messing with you guys, like not trying to play Skyclave Apparition, and instead playing Nebelgast Herald. If we were to play Nebelgast Herald, that solves a couple of problems that Skyclave Apparition doesn't generally solve. Like, you're able to deal with things like the Old Growth Trolls and the Cavalier of Thorns that are near the top of the meta a lot more effectively than you can currently. And then just like put some number of these in the board, like 2, maybe 3, for, you know, I guess supplemental help. And you still have Shacklegeist plus Nebelgast Herald to control combat. Excuse me. That also gives you a much better flash plan, because now they have to respect Nebelgast and respect Coco anyway, and respect counterspells. And that's kind of the entire point of playing a card like Coco, because now you have to respect that or other good stuff at instant speed. The second thing that playing Nebelgast Herald does for you here is it actually allows you to play a Gigantha in the sideboard. So, I don't know, I think if I were to play this, right, like I would probably just like take these out, put in 3 of these, put in the 4th copy of Lofty Denial. And then take out 1 copy of you. And I'm pretty sure I don't own a Gigantha. Yeah, I didn't think so. So I think that's what I would probably do. Right? Like, you still have all of your ways to control combat, make your opponent nice and miserable. You still have lots and lots of creatures for your Collect the Companies actually resolving, a few more counter spells to go with your Spell Queller, and you have a little bit better of an instant speed game. But then you also get to just play a freaking companion. So I think this is what I would choose to do here, were I to play this deck again and then maybe take it seriously. But as it stands, we were here to test out the mana, and the mana worked wonderfully. So I'm pretty happy about that. But that's going to be it for us playing Magic today. So unfortunately, we got absolutely dunked on with both of our decks. Like, we just did not really have success. But not every day is going to be a day where we just, like, you know, win 9-10 matches in a row. So if I have time to play Magic tomorrow, what I'm going to do is jump on a little bit more Azoria Spirits so that we can go with our takeaways from the last time that we played that. And that went pretty well. But also play some more of the cool things on Arena too. So we were testing out Rakdos with Sword of Fortune Frontier and Blackleaf Cliffs, and that went super well, of course. I think we played maybe 3 matches. We didn't play for that long, but we won all of them. And we ended up going 4-1 with Azoria Spirits the other day too. So that was obviously a pretty good day to kind of, you know, warm us up for a little bit of a beatdown that was today. And yeah, so that's going to be a day. So thanks to everybody for stopping in. Thanks to any new subscribers that joined the channel. And I'll simply see y'all on the next one.